Hi everyone, I'm here with Atul. He is a Magoosh TOEFL student who has recently taken the at-home TOEFL exam. He's agreed to chat with us today about his experience taking the at-home version, and I'm really looking forward to talking with you. Thanks for being willing to talk about your experience. So first, just overall, how was it for you taking the at-home TOEFL?
Overall, it was very good. I mean, there were a few ups and downs, but overall, I found it better than any test center experience. The pros outweigh the cons, basically.
Have you taken the TOEFL at a exam center before, at a testing center?
No, I have not, but I have taken other exams and I know how it is.
So starting at the beginning, when you were signing up to take the at-home TOEFL, how was that process? For example, were there a lot of sign-up times available? Was it easy for you to register?
The process itself was very straightforward, but the timings were very haphazard to say. I had to postpone my test a few times because there was something called a blackout period. So for the 2 or 3 days, you won't be able to register for any time slot or any day. In the end, I settled on for a morning slot on a weekday.
And was that confusing at first, just seeing that there was this blackout period and then limited time options? Was it pretty straightforward what was available to you, or did you have to contact someone to make that sign up possible?
No, it was straightforward that way.
So moving on to starting the exam, I know that there's an online proctor. How was logging in and meeting with the proctor and doing the security check?
It was tiresome. It took more than 30 minutes. She was very thorough about it. She made me move some stuff out of the room, and she made me realign my desk so that the door is behind me and she can see the door. So the whole thing took more than 30 minutes.
What sort of things did you have to move out of the room?
Uh, my mobile phone, I had a speaker set up that I had to move out. A couple of other things.
And what did you use to take notes? Did you have a whiteboard?
Yeah, I had to use a whiteboard. I started with pages from a rewritable notebook, but she didn't allow it, so I had to settle for a whiteboard there.
And you mentioned before that compared to doing it in a testing center, taking the TOEFL at home was more convenient. What were certain aspects that you liked of taking it at home versus in a testing center?
Yeah, absolutely, it was more convenient. I mean, when you are trying to listen or trying to speak, you need a quiet, which is not available in a test center, which can only be available at home. Plus, you don't have to commute 1.5, 2 hours to go to the test center to and fro. So that's very comfortable.
Yeah, that's a big one, not having to commute and being able to do it in a quiet space. Were you able to take breaks during the exam and leave the room during those breaks?
There was one break after the listening section, and it was supposed to be 10 minutes, but it lasted more than 30 minutes. I was back. I didn't leave the room. I was at my desk. So, but the proctor didn't resume the test after more than 30 minutes.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised to hear that. So the proctor caused this 30-minute delay. What else was your experience with the proctor like? Or rather, how was the rest of your experience with the proctor?
It was good. They don't really interfere during the test, so that's a big plus. Other than that, they were very thorough during check-in. So I mean that's fine. They didn't interrupt me at any point, which I found very good.
Was the format of the test the same?
Yeah, it was reading, listening, speaking, and writing in that order.
And if you, I asked you about this before we started recording, and you said you were comfortable sharing your score. So what was your score and the breakdown?
Yeah, I got 30 in reading, 29 in listening, 23 in speaking, and 28 in writing. So that would be a total of 110.
And I'm sure many of the viewers are interested to know how you prepared for the TOEFL.
I had a Magoosh TOEFL account, and Magoosh was very cooperative with me. I mean, I missed the deadline, and they gave me an extension. So the material was also more than enough.
Did you take any practice tests leading up to your at-home TOEFL?
Yeah, I took 4 practice tests from Magoosh TOEFL account. Nothing other than that.
Well, I feel like our students will find this really helpful to hear about your experience and to know about things like the blackout period of dates and the, maybe lag times with the proctor that aren't as well known. Is there anything else about your experience that you think students would find helpful to know?
Yeah, I would advise anybody who is about to take the TOEFL to not panic. When I started my reading section, I went blank for around 10 minutes. I would read a line, but I was not able to understand it. Then I would read the second line, then it's the same. So you begin to worry a little bit. So don't do that. Catch your focus. Sometimes it takes time, but don't give up.
Oh, that's awesome advice. Thank you for sharing it.
No
So
problem.
for all of the people watching, so like Atul said, he used Magoosh TOEFL, and if you want to use the Magoosh TOEFL as well, you can get a 20% discount if you use the coupon code TOEFL Home 20, TOEFL Home 20, to try out the same material that Atul used. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I think many of our students will find it
You're
helpful.
welcome.